Greetings everyone, it is me Shadow Leon 659 once again, and today I would like to talk about a movie that is one of my biggest guilty pleasures of all time. And for those of you people who don't know, I am a fan of superheroes and loved reading comic books at such a young age. I mainly watch all forms of superhero media, not just for entertainment, but for escapism and enjoying the fantasy worlds they inhabit and whatnot. Seeing as we are now in a day and age in where the genre has been oversaturated to hell and back, let's travel back in time to the 90s, in where it was a niche genre at best. And today's subject of review is none other than 1997's Spawn with Michael Jai White. It is a movie that is often regarded as one of the worst superhero movies of all time. But after watching it, I don't think it's as bad as many people point it out to be. It's definitely not one of the worst, nor is it one of the best, but as I mentioned before, it is one of my biggest guilty pleasures of all time. So how did Spawn come about? For those of you people who don't know, it was the birth child of comic book publisher Todd McFarlane and whatnot, who previously worked on Spider-Man and created everyone's favorite Venom. Yes, he was responsible for Venom and whatnot. So he eventually left Spider-Man in order to make his comic book company called Image Comics, in where he published the dark anti-hero called Spawn. And of course, should I say, Spawn became a popular superhero and whatnot, rivaling those of Batman and Spider-Man. And everyone knew that eventually a movie was gonna get made, so came 1997's Spawn. So what is the premise for this movie, you ask? The premise is about a veteran military assassin who is betrayed and murdered by his former superior. He finds himself signing a deal with the devil and is sent back to Earth, in where he is conflicted between the forces of good and the forces of evil. Michael Jai White gives a pretty good... Let me start off with the positives. Michael Jai White gives a pretty good and believable performance as Al Simmons, aka Spawn, and you feel sorry for him and his struggles, especially this scene in where he discovers that he is dead and has an emotional breakdown.
Every time you go out there, you come back a little bit more dead inside.
Plus, I also did enjoy the work on the practical effects and the makeup, which I admit look pretty good for what they are. The action set pieces are nothing home to write about, but they are decently entertaining for the most part. It also does have pretty good cinematography and camera work. I also did enjoy the kick-ass soundtrack and the songs packaged with it, especially the opening theme and some other songs I may or may not know. Jessica Priest was a nice new addition to the Spawn mythos and would be later retconned into the comic books. It also does an adequate job of adapting the source material. I did enjoy the late Nicole Williamson as Coglistro, who later becomes Al Simmons' moral compass. Plus, he and Jai White have pretty good chemistry with each other. It was also nice to hear the legendary Frank Welker as the voice of Malbolgia, which is an A+. I mean, it's Frank freaking Welker, for God's sake. You can't go wrong with Frank Welker. And I also did love how they faithfully translated the character designs into movie realm and whatnot. That doesn't feel out of place. But unfortunately, we have to go to the negatives. The film could have used the R rating it should have gotten, and the unrated director's cut really doesn't do a whole lot to give it that R rating. While John Leguizamo is having a fun time playing Clown, aka the Violator, The screenplay couldn't decide if they wanted to make him funny or irritating, which makes him a very inconsistent character and at times feels like a poor man, feels like a second-rate Jim Carrey. Don't even get me started on that cringe-worthy moment of him dancing like a cheerleader.
What the hell is this?
Plus, his comedic antics clash severely with the film's dark and edgy tone. Martin Sheen's Jason Wynn could have been a better written antagonist. The editing is pretty lackluster. The pacing feels like it's on fast forward, and the CGI for late 90s standards is terrible. Oh my god, this is some of the worst CGI I have ever seen in any major motion picture. I mean, this came the same year as Starship Troopers, Jurassic Park 2, Tomorrow Never Dies, and Men in Black. Granted, this film had a lower budget than the aforementioned, but Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Even the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie had better CGI than this crap. So overall, those are my thoughts on Spawn 1997. It doesn't reach the highs of the acclaimed masterpiece that is the HBO series, nor is it the irredeemable crap that most people are making it out to be. I think it's a pretty serviceable superhero movie at best. And of course, if you're a fan of Spawn, just take it with a grain of salt and whatnot. So if you're wondering how I'm going to rate this movie, I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 10. Just stream it and check it out for what it is. It's still better than a vast majority of MCU movies nowadays. So that's all I've got for today. Shadow Leon 659 signing out. Goodbye and take care.